personal belongings when leaving. Watch yourself. Have a good day. Thank you for riding us.
Did I lie or what?
How you doing?
Grand Central. We had to cross at 34th Street over to the east side of 7th Avenue. Ain't that perfect?
Like quiet.
And that's the scene at about 8:20 a.m. on Sunday outside of Madison Square Garden.
Just picking up off of that, there's been an enormous amount of media interest in this already. We fully expect just a big swarm of people to want to be here for the press conference and follow the march. So we're going to do the best we can. Part of the day, we're going to, when this steps off, we're going to try and pace ourselves so that people don't feel like they're standing needed. You know, the piece I'd like to plug in right now is if somebody can do a short talking points thing about what our main messages are today. Bob, Andrea, you want to, or Bob?
Yeah. No, not yet. We're going to move this onto the street.
What are you doing here, Liz?
I'm volunteering for United for Peace and Justice and selling some of their merchandise. Roaming through the crowd and selling things because can't really give them as much money as I'd like to out of my own pocket, so I figured it's the best I can do. Collect money from other people's pockets and back to them, so that's what I'm doing.
Why do you think it's important?
I think it's important that if you're going to have a constant agitation and to continue dialogue about all the things that you're worried about in the government or in your society or whatever, you should give back to the movements that are supporting the side that you're fighting for. So that's what I'm down.
Thank you very much.
Hey, hi. Are you guys coming in? Or yes. We're going to have we're on hold a press conference here about 9:45 and to the side. I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever it is. There'll probably be some. How do they go? Yep. All right. Good.
Please copy.
2, sound check. 1, 2. 1, 2, sound check. 1, 2. 1, 2, sound check. 1, 2. 1, 2, sound check. 1, 2.
2, 1, 2. 2, 1, 2, check, check. 1, 2. Okay, we're gonna check that now. 2, 1, 2, check.
One, two, two, 1, 2. Hey, 1, 2. It's a clean, clean signal.
Well, like I said, you look at that list.
Shoot us and shoot what's in my bag. Shoot them.
Okay.
Theoretical technical director.
Crouch down. Work it up so that you're not blocking the video and film cameras, okay? Give us about 10 minutes and we'll start. Yeah.
Great. Are they going to keep me in program or something? They're keeping you in queue. So as soon as when you see, you know, when they start getting ready, you know,
So far,
minute 2, when they say we're getting ready to go, we'll tell them over that. They can hear us. They're keeping us in queue, and then you know. There are not 400 people here. They turn it all down to do. So in other words, we're war profiteering, aren't we? Yeah. We're making up for the peacetime debt, and I are in.
Bring in more money for a contract. We cover the really espresso bar.
Hi, welcome. I'm Bill Dobbs. I do the press work for United for Peace and Justice, and I'm just going to do some preliminary logistical and other information. First of all, thank you for coming. You're really important in helping to project what we're doing here today. We're expecting a very large crowd to say no to the Bush agenda. And our protest today, of course, is called "The World Says No to the Bush Agenda." It's been a long time building this. We first announced this protest in June and filed for permits in June of 2003. And I know that some of you have experienced in the last day or two, including this morning, troubles with the NYPD over the location of trucks and other issues. We'd asked NYPD if we could have risers up across the street from the garden, and were turned down. If you experience further difficulties with DCPI or NYPD, please contact us as soon as you can, because we're very alarmed at the treatment of the media from the reports we're getting. We're going to have a press conference right here where I'm standing. And of course, we're having a press conference here because that's a very important way that we're going to project the message of the day. We are not having a rally, so this press conference is going to be one of the principal means for you to hear some of the important voices that are going to join us. In addition to the people you'll hear at this press conference, and by the way, there's a list of speakers in your press packet, but they'll be read off as we unfold this. There are many other key people here who enable us to do our work, including members of the United for Peace and Justice Steering Committee. So please buttonhole them and hear what they have to say. After the press conference, we're hoping that there's a period for some availability. And then as the momentum to step off builds, we're going to ask you folks in the media to clear this area and sort of decamp to the north side of the intersection here at 23rd Street. Hopefully the cameras will be able to get good spots and array themselves. We're going to have the banner at the south side, the banner which is actually, it's hard to see right now, but the banner will move up to the south side of 23rd Street. We're going to form the lead contingent, and then we're going to step off slowly and deliberately. And I want to underscore slowly and deliberately because I know that you all want that particular shot. So we really want to make sure that there's a buffer between us and between the banner and between where the cameras are. It could easily be 50 or 70 feet, so you got nice long shots. We're going to do our best to keep everybody out of that area, and we're going to, in all due deliberate speed, make it up past Madison Square Garden. And I know you're going to want another shot there. The march route is also in your pack, but it's up 7th Avenue to 34th Street, east on 34th Street, turn onto 5th Avenue going south, and then we'll veer onto Broadway, and we'll finish at Union Square. And we know that some other people want to visit the crown jewel in New York City, Central Park. That, I think, is all I need to say right now. Thanks once again for joining us, and I want to introduce our national co-chair, who is Bob Wing.
How's everybody doing? You ready for a great day?
Yeah.
On behalf of United for Peace and Justice, I'd like to welcome all of you for what promises to be a historic march today, to say no to the Bush agenda of war, greed, hate, and lies. So, the first speaker today is Leslie Kagan, the National Coordinator of United for Peace and Justice. But just before she speaks, I want you all to know that United for Peace and Justice is a national coalition consisting of almost 900 groups nationwide. We consist of veterans of the Iraq War and other wars. We consist of families who have soldiers over in Iraq. We consist of organizations of families who had family members die on September 11th. We consist of traditional, powerful peace groups like Peace Action and American Friends Service Committee. We consist of many immigrant groups like Notadol and Young Koreans United. We consist of groups in solidarity with many countries. We consist of people from all walks of life, people who have been victims of the policies of this administration, and we are here to say no. No to war, greed, hate, and lies. I give you Leslie Kagan, the National Coordinator of United for Peace and Justice.
Thank you. As always, I want to thank the members of the media for being with us here today. We very much appreciate your cooperation today as we proceed in what we are confident will be a truly historic moment in this country. Today we gather on the eve of the Republican Convention. Tomorrow, the Republican Party will meet just a few short blocks north of here, and they will send their message of war and greed and hate, and their message spread through lies around the world. Today we send our message. We come from all walks of life. We come from every neighborhood of New York City and from cities and towns across this nation. And together we will march past Madison Square Garden, and in a resounding, clear voice, we will say no to the Bush agenda. We call for the immediate end of the U.S. occupation in Iraq. We want the troops brought home now. Yeah. Not tomorrow, not the next day, now. We also call for new economic priorities in this country. The working people of this country are carrying the burden of billions of dollars going into war, while our schools and healthcare and housing systems are in crisis. We call for an end to the Patriot Act and an end to the attack on immigrants and people who look like they might possibly cause trouble. We call for an end to racial profiling and the violence of racism in all its forms. Today we march in one voice, but from many communities, from all walks of life. It has already been a long journey to get to this day, but our work today is critical because it lays the foundation for everything we do from here on out, so that not only in November, but in January, whoever sits in the White House hears our message: no to the war, greed, hate, and lies. Thank you.
One of the main groups of people who have been the worst victims of the lies of the Bush administration, the lies about Iraq, weapons of mass destruction, lies about its ties to Al-Qaeda, have been the family members and the people who have had to go over and fight based on lies. I give you Fernando Suarez del Solar, whose son was killed over in Iraq on the basis of George Bush's lies. Fernando Suarez del Solar of Military Families Speak Out.
Good morning. Thank you, everybody, for coming here today. I pay the high price for speech. I pay with my son's life for coming here today and say, Bush lie and who die? My son and beautiful 972 American boys and girls. We need to say, Mr. Bush and Republican Party, stop the occupation in Iraq. Bring it home now, today, not tomorrow. I lost my son. My grandson lost his father. And this one is only one story. Mr. Bush destroyer murdered 972 families here in home and thousands and thousands in Iraq. The people today have the right for say, Bush, get out of the White House. Thank you.
Okay, let me get a White House.
As we know, the people who have paid the highest price for this administration's consistent lies have been those who have had to go over and fight in Iraq. They have had to fight, they have had to kill people who are innocent and risk their own lives, and many have paid the highest price. The Army's own survey shows that morale, 54% of troops in Iraq show low morale. I give you next a person who went over and fought in Iraq on behalf of this administration's lies, believing it, and now is back to say, no, it wasn't right, it wasn't right. Kelly Doherty of Iraq Veterans Against the War.
My name is Kelly Doherty. I served as a military police sergeant in Iraq with the National Guard unit from February 2003 till 2004. I saw firsthand how this war is serving to dehumanize the Iraqi people who are destitute and desperate, and they're treated as trespassers in their own country and as criminals by virtue of their citizenship. And this is also dehumanizing the United States troops who are having their sense of patriotism and loyalty perverted and used by an administration that would send our women and men to fight, die, and kill for lies. Iraq Veterans Against the War is a newly formed organization of veterans and active duty service members. We're found at www.ivaw.net. We know that the United States has an obligation to the Iraqi people to help them rebuild their country, and that this cannot happen until we stop acting as occupiers. We call for the return of U.S. troops, and we also say that it's unacceptable how they are being abandoned once they get home, having their VA hospitals closed and their veterans benefits cut. We are very excited to be part of this change to stop America on the imperialistic warmongering path that it is on right now. Thank you.
The next speaker is Reverend Bob Edgar, General Secretary of the National Council of Churches. The National Council of Churches consists of 130,000 Christian congregations throughout the United States.
I'm here representing people of faith, of all faith traditions, Christians, Jews, Muslims, and others. I'm here to offer a prayer for the young men and women who serve in our armed services, who have faced terrible challenges in Iraq. We pray that they will come home. We pray for all the civilians who have been killed, injured, and maimed in the war in Iraq. We pray for the poor of this country who have lost many benefits because of the expenditures that have been allocated to war rather than to peace. We pray for the environment, for clean air and clean water. We pray for the children of the city of New York, the children of Baghdad, and the children of Sudan who are suffering a terrible genocide. Those who have gathered here today to march have come with a variety of concerns, but they come in peace, they come in prayer, they come in hopes that this country can move in a new direction, a direction of peace and nonviolence, a direction that uses our fragile resources to care for the poor. On Tuesday night of this week, we'll gather at Riverside Church to pray in an interfaith service and let justice roll. We'll call upon God to be with us and with the people of the world. We'll hope that we will be on God's side to make a difference on this fragile planet. As you watch each of these demonstrators today, remember they come in peace, they come in nonviolence, they come respecting democracy. After 9/11, a group of us religious leaders wrote a statement that simply said, let's deny the terrorists their victory by honoring our democracy and respecting the pluralism that we have in this society to care for all people of faith. May this march today be a respect for life, be a respect for the people of this planet, be a respect for the children of this world, and be in respect for the democracy that we hold so dear, which is threatened at this moment. God be with you.
Thank you. Our next speaker needs no introduction. Michael Moore, filmmaker and activist.
There's your footage.
Thank you. We're here today because we're really happy. We're happy that the Republicans only have a couple months left. And so we're here to welcome them, show them a good time. We know they're feeling a little depressed, seeing how the end is near for them. I'd feel that way if I were them. So, you know, we're going to give them a nice smile and a wave as we go up 7th Avenue here. And this week, while the Republicans are in town, whatever we can do to encourage them to sign up, and we're going to have recruiters around, any of them who would like to join our military and go and fight the war that they're willing to send poor people to go and fight. In fact, just to borrow an idea from Congressman Rangel, I really think we need to bring back the draft, but only for the sons of politicians and the sons of executives of Fortune 500 companies. I think if they had to go first, we'd find ourselves in a lot less of these situations. Last month at the Democratic Convention, I asked Bill O'Reilly a question that he could not answer. And that question was, would you be willing to sacrifice your child to secure Fallujah? That is our question to these Republicans here in town. And I think we know the answer. And so let's stop sacrificing all the children, both in this country and Iraq. There is a way out of this, and that way is now. That way is now. We want an end to this war. We want the troops home. And it's just not going to work with us there. And we owe a huge apology to the people of Iraq for creating the amount of death and destruction that we've created there. So, very sorry that the city of New York couldn't figure out how to allow us to have a peaceful rally in Central Park. It made absolutely no sense, and in fact, it's made more and more sense to me that this is exactly what they wanted, chaos. We're here to show them that that's not what they're going to get, and that we, those of us here who are speaking, and all the people back there, we are the majority of this country. The majority of this country opposes this war. The majority of this country wants the Bush administration out of office. The majority never voted for the Bush administration. And the majority are here to say it's time to have our country back in our hands. Thank you very much for being here.
Our next speaker is Suhair Hamad. Suhair Hamad. Suhair Hamad is a fabulous Palestinian poet whose poem, First Writing Since, right after September 11th, inspired us all.
What's up, New York City? I want the world to know that it's not only New Yorkers up in the street today. People from all 50 states have traveled here on buses, on planes, in cabs. They're here with us. It's not just ranky New Yorkers, as the media, some of the media have been demonstrating. We're here today because we are tired of both parties' apathy to the issues of poor people, to the issues of immigrants, to women's rights issues. We live in our bodies. We want to be safe in our bodies. And we are the same group of people, as you will see walking down the streets, who are out protesting this tragedy of a war before the first bomb dropped. These are the same people. We weren't listened to then. We hope to be listened to now. We demand an end to the occupations of both Palestine, the West Bank, the Gaza Strip, and Iraq. Bring the troops home now.
As you can see behind us, this march is going to be tremendous. Take a look. Our next speaker is going to introduce some of his colleagues. Our next speaker is New York City Council member William Perkins. Bill Perkins has been a leader in the struggle against war and in the struggle for Central Park in this city. Bill Perkins.
Thank you very much. I want to ask all my colleagues in government from the City Council and from Congress to please come and join me. You can come too, Danny Glover, if you'd like. I mean, I know you're not elected yet, but you know we got a reason to have you with us. After all, you've been out here fighting the good fight. Let me just say, my first comment is to the mayor. We're going to take back Central Park. It was not right for you to deny the people of the city of New York the opportunity to use the People's Park for a peaceful and safe opportunity to assemble and protest the Iraq war, the unjust war that is being paid not only in terms of people's lives, but also for those of us in government in terms of the dollars that are not being spent on the domestic agenda in places like New York City, where we need public schools, where we need housing, where we need health care. All those dollars are being diverted to an unholy war. Let me now turn the mic over to one of my colleagues from the City Council, Councilmember Charles Barron, who is also joined by Councilmember Bill de Blasio, Councilwoman Margarita Lopez, Congressman Major Owens, and of course the senior member of the New York delegation, Congressman Charles Rangel.
The people united will never be defeated. And that's the message that we are delivering here today. We already won. There has been more coverage of the protest than the convention. We're saying to the judge, the park belongs to the people. We're saying to the police, the park belongs to the people. And we're saying to the mayor, the park belongs to the people, and that's where we will be when we finish this march. Yeah. That is our park. We need a regime change in Washington and New York and places all over this country. We need regime changes here, not in Iraq. We say to our people in the hood, in the black neighborhoods, that we have to come out for these rallies. We will be rallying in Harlem on the 2nd, September 2nd. We're going to be in Harlem. We're going to bring out our neighborhoods for policy changes that we're fighting for. They're cutting Section 8. They're cutting programs all over this country for the poor, and we're going to rally our people and say that we will not take it. So we are honored here today to be out, and we are making history. We already won. This is a victory for the people.
Thank you, Councilman Barron. The head of the New York State Congressional Delegation, my congressman from Central Harlem, Charles Rangel.
One day, someone's going to ask, when the world went crazy, and when Bush went into Iraq, and when lives were lost, and jobs were lost, and hope was lost, what were you doing? Those of you who are here today will be able to tell your kids and your grandkids that you tried to bring some sanity to this world that we inherited. Never before in the history of the United States has our nation gone to war unilaterally and lost so many lives and so many friends in such a short period of time. And for the president and his party to have the chutzpah to return to the scene of the tragedy that we suffered here should be a notice for the entire country to say, we're mad as hell and we're just not taking it anymore. It's time for Bush and all of them to go, and it's time to impeach Rumsfeld on the way to the polls.
Councilwoman Margarita Lopez.
As the council member who represent, together with Alan Gerson, the epicenter of September 11, I'm here to say two things. Number one, the same way they lied to us in downtown Manhattan, that the air was filthy and full of poison, they lied to the nation about the war in Iraq. And it needs to be made very clear today here. They lied to us about Iraq. They are assassinating people in Iraq. They're sending our children to be killed, and it needs to stop. Mr. President, the imposed president, it's time for you to leave the White House and to bring our men and women back to America.
Congressman Major Owens.
I want to thank you all for being here Every marcher is here to send a sacred message throughout America. Wake up, our country is at risk. If you don't come out and send that message to all the voters, we may have a return of this administration which will take us down a snake pit of fascism. Wake up! Wake up! My name is Major Owens, and I voted against the war resolution. I voted against the Patriot Act. I voted against the $87 million appropriation. I voted against the defense budget. You have partners in politics. Let's let nobody separate that. My constituents are suffering, and my constituents are like the majority of Americans. We're all suffering. I have Pakistani Americans who are being carted out of the detention camps even right now. I have people who can't get decent housing, decent funding for education. Everything is going to the war in Iraq. Our country goes down the drain if we don't bring the troops home now and end the war in Iraq.
Council member from Brooklyn, Bill de Blasio.
Thank you. It is up to us to stop this war, and it is up to us to end the Bush administration. We have to do it. We are starting today, but we have 2 more months ahead, and every one of us needs to be in Ohio and Pennsylvania, and we know we have to be in Florida. We have to take back our democracy. Let's do it together. Thank you.
And now for a message in Spanish, once again, Councilwoman Margarita Lopez.
Para todos aquellos que me escuchan, latinos en los Estados Unidos, yo soy la concejal del distrito número 2, donde ocurrió el ataque del 11 de septiembre. Como concejal de ese distrito te digo, nos mintieron con relación al envenenamiento del aire cuando septiembre 11. Nos dijeron que el envenenamiento del aire no existía. De la misma forma que nos mintieron, latino que me escucha, y sí estaba envenenado el aire, nos mintieron con relación a la guerra en Irak. Es tiempo de que la guerra se acabe. El presidente impuesto de los Estados Unidos, George Walker Bush, se tiene que ir de la Casa Blanca. Se tiene que ir. La guerra en Irak se tiene que acabar. Traigan a nuestros hombres y a nuestras mujeres de vueltas a nuestra nación en los Estados Unidos.
Thank you very much. Taxes for peace, not for war. Taxes for peace, not for war.
Among the many important leaders of the anti-war movement have been some of the people whose family members died on September 11th. I give you one of the great leaders of that movement, Terry Rockefeller of September 11th families.
In better times, a trip to New York in August would have been a chance for me to sit with my sister and talk and laugh. But Laura died in the World Trade Center. She was murdered in one of the most horrific, immoral, and illegal acts. But in the days after September 11th, when New Yorkers poured out their compassion to my family, and when the world offered support to this nation, I thought we would choose a path of law. We would choose a path of decency. When George Bush used the first anniversary of September 11th to call for his immoral and illegal war in Iraq, I was appalled. 3 years later, the results of that war are more disastrous than I ever imagined. 20,000 civilians have died in Afghanistan and Iraq, and their families are now grieving just as mine still grieves. The war in Iraq has fanned the flames of terrorism around the world. It's left us less safe. It's made the world a less safe place. I am marching with other 9/11 families today to let the nation and the world know there are many of us who never wanted war in the name of our loved ones. We will protest until this war is over and until this nation chooses to follow a foreign policy that respects human life everywhere on this planet. Thank you.
Among the many large organizations, especially labor organizations that have joined the anti-war movement, is Unite and the Hotel and Restaurant Workers Union. Our next speaker is Wilfredo Laranquint, the International Vice President of Unite HERE.
Thank you, thank you. We're proud to be here today in the march that reflects the history and tradition of our labor movement in America. When labor marches with activists in a wide range of movements, we can attain any goal. Labor, along with the varied movements represented here, says, "Save America, defeat Bush." George Bush has led an administration that has lost almost 3 million manufacturing jobs nationwide. We're about to march up 7th Avenue, and also known as Fashion Avenue. And it's known as Fashion Avenue because thousands of garment workers made their living before on this avenue. And from California to the New York Island, millions of workers, auto workers, steel workers, textile workers, mine workers, and farm workers have lost their ability to support their families because of this administration's policies. The Bush administration is also missing in action, while a growing number of Americans, up to 45 million, are going without health care. Laundry workers, healthcare workers, janitors, having to choose between putting health care for their family and putting food on their table, while Bush chooses to protect its multi-millionaire healthcare providers instead of the American people. This administration has recently attacked the living standards of working men and women by denying 6 million of us the right to overtime pay. Nurses and store clerks and millions of others will get a wage cut because this administration wants to cater to its corporate friends. The Bush administration has underfunded our schools, thereby relegating our children to a hopeless future.
11, we're the New York taxi workers. Our next speaker is the executive director of the New York Taxi Workers Alliance, Bhairavi Desai.
Good morning, everybody. I'm here today because, like so many people in this world and in this country, we are mad as hell. We're sick of the fact that we have a man in the White House who's declared war on an innocent people, a group of people who were under a blockade for a decade. They were impoverished, and then inspectors were sent in to make sure there were no weapons to defend themselves. And this man calls this war an act of bravery. This was a pure and simple act of cowardice to maintain oil reserves for the richest of this country. We're here today because we have one question for President Bush. We want to ask him, what do people who work 12-hour shifts with no health insurance, no guaranteed income, live day to day with hardly any food on their table for themselves or their families, don't have access to proper education? What do they have to do with terrorism? We want to know from the president, what do the poor and the working people of this world, of Afghanistan, Iraq, of Brooklyn, and the rest of the United States, what do they have to do with terrorism? Since the war was declared, not only have thousands of people been killed overseas, but within the United States, thousands of hardworking people have been confiscated from their loved ones. Families have been ripped apart because of the color of their skin, because of the status of their immigration papers, because of the God that they worship. We want to say to the president that Islam is a peaceful religion, that the war that he has declared in the name of Islam is really a war for his corporate greed. And so we want to say to the world and to the people of Iraq that those of us in America, we too have a consciousness, we too have a heart, and we too realize, unlike our president, that we belong to the entire world, not just to the boundaries of this government.
Yeah.
September 11th, as not only that we have found out that the Bush administration is about war, greed, and hate and lies, but people from the inside have found out and are telling us all about it. One of the courageous people who stepped forward is Ann Wright, a career U.S. diplomat who resigned in opposition to the Iraq War. Ann Wright.
Thanks, Bob. Well, for 35 years of my life, 3 decades of my life, I've represented you, the American people. I've represented you all over the world, and particularly in Grenada, Panama, Nicaragua, Somalia, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Sierra Leone, Mongolia, Afghanistan. I've represented you in some of the toughest parts of the world. I've been a part of 7 administrations, and I've, like many of you, have held my nose to some of the policies in each one of these administrations. But I've never felt compelled to have to say to the American people, I can no longer represent your government. The war in Iraq is a wrong war. It was a war of choice, not necessity. It's a war that's killing innocent civilians. It's killing innocent military. It's wounding hundreds of thousands of people. It is a war that should not have happened. I am very proud that I stood up, along with 2 others from the State Department, to say, no, we will not represent what the Bush administration has done to America. Let me tell you, there are many, many hundreds and thousands of career federal employees in the State Department and in the Department of Defense that do not agree with what's going on. There is a real revolution within the government. It will happen. It's going to happen because you, the people are taking to the streets, and you, the people, are going to show that we do not want the Bush administration anymore. Please, please, everyone, get out, go to Florida, go to every place you can go. I gave up my career on this thing. I don't have a job now. I'm part of the jobless. It was my choice, though. It wasn't because I was laid off like everybody else. I choose not to participate with this administration. You choose to change this administration. Thanks.
Thank you. We represent the great majority of American people who know that our country is at war because of a series of lies told to us by our president, or rather by the man who was made president. The president, the cabal in the White House, the Democrats,
In the neighborhood where my mother lives, in Crown Heights, Bedford, Stuyvesant.
Our next speaker is Eve Ensler. Eve Ensler is a noted playwright, most famous for her fabulous play, The Vagina Monologue. Eve is also the founder of D-Day, a global movement to end violence against women. President of the National Organization for Women.
Thank you very much. The National Organization for Women stands here in solidarity with this movement to say no to the violence, to say no to this nightmare, and to tell women everywhere that we must vote this November. It is up to us. 22 million women didn't vote in the year 2000, and we have to take this matter into our hands right now. This is a nightmare that has befallen this country. The poor are getting poorer, the richer are getting richer. 22 new restrictions on abortion. And we have to move this country out into the streets to get Bush out of the White House. Please join the National Organization for Women in this battle, and we will make change in November. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
That's okay, I got it.
Thank
you. Laborers in the House today, we are joined by DC 37 and the Professional Staff Congress, but behind me also stands Unite HERE 1199 and many of the members of our labor community to denounce the Bush agenda. But we are also here in particular to challenge the Bush administration and the Republicans for daring to try to claim the mantle of September 11th. When September 11th occurred and the towers came down, it was labor that responded to the World Trade Center. We didn't open up our contracts to see whether we were being protected. We did not believe that we were given a license to go on a quest to dominate the world petroleum resources. We responded, and we
represent the professors at the City University of New York. It's our students and our colleagues who are being sent to fight this war. It's not the people making the policy. So when we stand here today, we stand as teachers who believe in the truth and not the lies that this war is based on. We stand as teachers in solidarity with our students and with young people everywhere. This is a war on young people and municipal unions in this city. Every day
November to make sure that Bush is out of the White House. Thank you.
Peace Coalition, and yesterday we had a convergence all day talking about our Books Not Bombs agenda, because we're not okay with the Bush agenda. We're saying no to the Bush agenda today. I'm representing the youth contingent today, and that's why we are out. One of the parts of the Books Not Bombs agenda is education, not empire. We're not okay with money going to war when we don't have enough textbooks for students in our classrooms in New York and the rest of the country. So we're meeting today on 18th and 7th, and we're coming to this march, and we're here to have our voices heard. So thank you for having us.
I just arrived this morning from the Sudan. The Darfur region, where 1.5 million people have been displaced, sleeping on the sands of the Sahara Desert, 1.5 million people. The world's greatest humanitarian disaster. It rained the night before last, now they sleep in mud. 50,000 have died in the last 2 months. Approximately 1,000 people a day are dying. They need and deserve our help. The world must not betray the Sudan through silence. For too long, we have been much tolerant of African suffering and pain, tolerant of an African slave trade for which we've never apologized after 246 years, tolerant of apartheid in South Africa for much too long, tolerant of a Holocaust in Germany for much too long, tolerant of Rwanda, and now here is the Sudan. We have some moral obligation to use our strength to in fact have an arms embargo, to use our strength to disarm the Janjaweed, to use our strength to get in at least $1 billion for logistical support and support for the African Union, that they might have safe passage of food and medicine and tents and relief. I was in the camp just last night where 56,000 people walked 100 miles to get to a camp in Diala. We have an obligation to speak out. Tragedy is we've lost so much moral authority in Iraq until we can hardly raise our head above the sinking sands of Iraq and Afghanistan. We could, for $1 billion in the Sudan, seek to regain the credibility that we've lost in Iraq. Iraq, a year later, we've lost nearly 1,000 lives. Iraq, 6,000 injured. Iraq, a country destroyed. Now only a cleric can in fact hold the peace. Not the CIA steering committee, but only a cleric, a religious state is in fact emerging in Iraq. We went down the pretense that we were threatened with imminent threat. No imminent threat. No weapons of mass destruction, no Al-Qaeda connection. Now we seek to rationalize the reason to go from invasion to occupation to conquest. It is a misdirection. We challenge Mr. Bush to use another course and challenge Mr. Kerry to make a break, that we might move toward lasting peace, involve the international community in resolving that crisis. But don't stop there. In a few days from now, you'll hear much talk about 9/11. We all felt the pain of 9/11, the loss of lives, the loss of innocence, abounding fear. But strangely enough, on September 11th, we will stop, we will toll bells, we will commemorate the lives lost and the families hurt. But then on September 14th, 3 days later, we will unban assault weapons. How can you reconcile making America more secure if you in fact reduce port security? It could have been 20%, it's now down around 5%. because we chose to give those who make $1 million or more a $88,000 tax rebate rather than $83,000. So our ports, where you're more likely to get biological and chemical weapons, our ports are less secure. We have fewer police on our streets. And now, come September 14th, Uzis and AK-47s will be again legal. September 14th, it will unban assault weapons. We intercepted 7,500 AK-47s coming into the East Coast just a few months ago. Suppose terrorists have 7,500 AK-47s. Every police chief in America says, stop the weapons, maintain the ban. And so today we march. We march to regain the integrity of our country. We march to regain our moral authority. We march to extend the ban on assault weapons. We march for more police on our streets. We march for more port security. We march for a plan to get out of Iraq. We, in fact, must use our will, our skill, and our diplomacy to end the madness. And then let's turn our pain to power. Not long ago, we witnessed the horror of a stolen election. And this time around, there's the fear that between the deal bowl machines, racial targeting, discount, miscount, the richer counters with richer machines, the poor with poorer machines, we now stand to fight back. We must not let anybody break our spirit. What makes America great is the right to fight for the right. And we will remember in November, turn our pain to power. Today we shall have a nonviolent, disciplined witness in the best tradition of America, a nonviolent, disciplined witness. They tried to stop us from marching in Selma, Alabama to keep the highway clean. They seek to stop today to keep the grass green in Central Park. Somehow they see a terror in every blade of grass. We will not be diverted. We'll have massive registration, massive coalition, and regain the great American dream. America is a generous idea. America is a liberal idea. France for the French, Germany for the Germans, Britain for the British. But America is give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses. America is a liberal idea. We, in fact, must address 45 million who have no health insurance. America, a liberal idea. A coal mine in Appalachia dies every 6 hours from black lung disease. 45 million have no health insurance. In Appalachia, children are driving to school 2.5 hours one way to school. And so 4 years later, we're not better off economically. We're less secure emotionally, and yet we're resilient. We fight back. Today we march a multiracial, multicultural coalition regaining the American dream. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses who yearn to breathe free. And so, let nothing break our spirits. Address the crisis in the Sudan, in the war in Iraq, and come November, vote with a passion. For those who want to have a good, healthy diet, there is a good diet good for America's health. It's a no-carb diet. No Cheney, no Ashcroft, no Rumfield, no Bush. Good for the health of our nation. Forward by hope, never backwards by fear. Forward by hope, never backwards by fear. Forward by hope, never backwards by fear. Keep hope alive and give hope to the Sudan and end the war in Iraq. God bless you and keep hope alive.
And you know who that was.